What's going on YouTube? It's your boy camATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. What an amazing week it was last week. Won NBA 6 days out of the 7 days. We won the NFL Week 11. We won college football. It was a dominant week. Let's keep it up. Greenlightdfs.com. Let's get straight into it. I'm not going to waste too much time. Just to let anybody know who might be new here, this is the high five where I'll put 5 guys to get you started on the slate. This is just a first gut look at the slate. This is not like hours and hours and hours of research into this. This is just a first look gut with a little bit of research, a little bit of knowledge on it, and giving it to you guys to get you started on this slate, all right? Now, let's start off at point guard. I'm going to go with Russell Westbrook at 8-3. I know he hasn't been having the year that we all were hoping he might be able to. We knew some usage was going to be taken away because he's playing with James Harden. We didn't really realize that Westbrook was going to suck and Harden was going to be absolutely dominant. Now, Westbrook, though, is at home in Houston, only 8-3, going against Portland that's been giving it up to point guards big time. They have been giving it up. And Westbrook normally steps up in situations where he's playing another superstar like Dame Lillard. This is a situation where I can see Westbrook having one of those really solid games. And at 8-3, we don't need a huge performance. We just need regular. We don't even need regular Westbrook that we're used to seeing. Okay, we need like 50 out of him and we are perfectly fine with it. We don't need a 70, but we know that's the type of upside we have if he gets things back to going the way we expect it to go. Now, we know what Westbrook is capable of. He hasn't been shooting very efficiently. He just hasn't been himself so far this year, but we know that could be just the beginning of the year shit that comes with it. Now, we knew with him playing with Harden, like I said, his usage was going to be a lot lower, but expect these two to start clicking sooner than later and Westbrook start having like 50 on average games and Harden more like 60, 65, probably 70-ish sometimes as well. So I don't think much is going to affect Harden. I just think Westbrook's going to be way more efficient. He's going to be getting a lot more assists, a lot more rebounds, and getting near those triple doubles like we're used to seeing. And when he does that, he always hits value, especially at 8-3. It's crazy low, and I definitely want to buy low on a guy that I know has super potential. I know this year he hasn't been amazing, but I'm expecting him to snap out of it here soon, and he's only 8-3. So Russell Westbrook. All right. Next up, I'm going to go to center because I really love this dude against Brooklyn. Myles Turner going against Brooklyn. He was out for a little bit, tending to an injury, but now he's back, and he came back with a vengeance last game and had an amazing game. Now he's going against Brooklyn, one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to big men down low. Turner is going to eat down low in this matchup, and he's only 6'1". I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up being chalk on this slate, but it is what it is. Some chalk is good chalk, and Turner is a super safe, nice floor play against a Brooklyn team that struggles big time down low against big men. On top of that, Sabonis is questionable. He's dealing with issues. Brogdon's been dealing with issues. Jeremy Lamb's been dealing with issues. Like, this whole team is going through issues right now. So Myles Turner is back. He looks like he's good to go now. And going against Brooklyn, he's an amazing play at 6'1". All right. Next up, I want to talk about a value guy that interests me a little bit, and that's Seth Curry. He's been starting as shooting guard for Dallas. He's 3'8". He's at home in Dallas. And one thing San Antonio's been giving up a ton of this year is fantasy points to shooting guards. Okay? Now, San Antonio's never really been a team that you really love to play people against because the games always tend to be mediocre-ish because Popovich just ends up making games boring. And but in this situation, we're getting a guy who's a starter, who's got good offensive players around him, which should boost his assist rate. He's only 3'8". I know he's been super up and down this year. He hasn't had any huge games. The last game they played, he just had a great game last game where he scored 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 34 DraftKings points in 33 minutes. Expect about 27 to 30 minutes here in this game against San Antonio, and it is a great matchup for him. So at only 3.8, he's a solid value guy, and I don't think many people are going to be on him. He's a sleeper value as of right now, just first looking at it. I'm trying to find like a sleeper value that we can use to get guys, spend up guys that we want. And Seth Curry, as of right now, this moment, is one of those guys. Another guy is Nasir Little. He's really good price. He's been starting for Portland. He's a solid option as well and a good matchup too. So, all right, now at power forward, I'm going to go with Paul George. Now, Kawhi Leonard, it's a little bothersome here, okay? So he sat due to rest, and then he didn't play the next game. Like, we thought he was sitting because it was a back-to-back. But he sat, and then he missed the next game too. So this is looking like maybe one of those situations where that knee issue that bothered him so much in San Antonio might be hampering him a little bit, okay? And in the meantime, if he's hampered in any way or out, Paul George is going to be smashing. Even in limited minutes since he's come back, this dude has been absolutely on fire. It is ridiculous. This dude is averaging over 2 fantasy points a minute, okay? I wouldn't be able to get 2 fantasy points in 30 minutes, let alone 2 fantasy points each minute. This dude has been balling. 49 against New Orleans, 54 against Atlanta, and the matchup doesn't get much harder. Once again, it's a bad matchup against OKC, who's been giving it up to the position, and this is Paul George's last old team, so there's a little bit more incentive there, even though obviously he didn't really care. Like, he was happy to leave, I'm sure. They weren't going to go for any championships, especially with Westbrook leaving and all that, so I definitely think that I don't think Paul George has hard feelings or anything like that, obviously. But going against OKC, a lot of these players tend to show up against their old teams, and there's nobody on OKC who can hold Paul George. And with Kawhi Leonard seeming to be dealing with this little lingering issue that has come back and starting to haunt him a little bit again, even if Kawhi plays, I mean, at only 8-1, we're getting a guy who most likely still probably going to get us 45 here in this matchup, even with Kawhi on the floor. Matter of fact, it'll take some of the attention off of him and allow him to do some. But keep an eye on it. If Kawhi misses, I'm probably going to have a ton of Paul George, especially if Kawhi's out, because expect Paul George minutes to start creeping up here after a few really, really good games. I'd expect 25 or more minutes here against OKC, and with the 2 fantasy points a minute, that's 50 or more fantasy points. So I really love Paul George, all right? Last but not least, at the last guard spot, I'm going to go with Eric Bledsoe. Okay, Eric Bledsoe has been shining. Chris Middleton's been out, and Eric Bledsoe has been a huge beneficiary of this. Okay, last game he struggled against the Pacers, but the Pacers defense is decent. 26 minutes, only 21 DraftKings points. But if you look before that, 42, 44, 49. All right, and that 149 was against the same Chicago team. He dropped 31 points against them. Okay, this is an amazing matchup. Chicago's been giving it up to point guards. No Chris Middleton. Expect another amazing game out of Eric Bledsoe, and that's it. Russell Westbrook, hopefully he can finally show up. We all know what he's capable of, and we all understand that with Harden, he's not going to be the Westbrook we're used to seeing, but we don't need the Westbrook we were used to seeing. We need a 50 or more. That's it. And we will be completely happy at 8-3. Okay? Seth Curry, just solely a value play. This could change as a value play. We could end up going Nasir Little, or injuries could happen. Another value be the play. You know, I'm just giving you guys a first look value guy. Seth Curry's a starter, probably going to play about 25 to 30 minutes in a matchup against San Antonio that gives a bunch up to shooting guards. Paul George, especially if Kawhi's out, the dude has been on a mission even with limited minutes right now. Expect those minutes to uptick here in this one, probably around 25, and still a really good matchup against OKC. Myles Turner against Brooklyn, don't really need to explain that. Brooklyn's horrible against big men. And then Eric Bledsoe, no Chris Middleton. He's been shining, and against the same Chicago team a few games ago, he almost dropped 50. 1 point from 50. So expect Bledsoe to have another great game. And that's it. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Greenlightdfs.com. Let's get this money. Let's have another amazing week. Let's sweep it. And yeah, good luck, everybody. Let's get it. I'm out.